Story 1. The need to be busy or productive all the time. Hustle culture is nonsense. We all need and deserve rest time. It's not lazy. It's something we all need. My hobbies don't need to be monetized or marketable in some way to be worth doing. Story 2. Not accepting aging. 20-year-old girls shouldn't be getting preventative Botox. And actresses showing signs of aging shouldn't lose jobs. Aging like milk shouldn't be a saying at all. Normalize aging in general. Story 3. That whole thing where victims of bullying, assault, or abuse have to let things go to keep the peace needs to die. People need to stop covering for wrongdoers and criminals and let them face the consequences of their actions. Story 4. Being a workaholic is often seen as a kind of success, while working just to live and enjoy life with your loved ones is considered unwise. Life is short. Why do I have to spend 12 hours working in a place to make money for someone else, becoming a stranger to my kids, stopping visits to my parents, and just talking to my wife for 20 minutes before we fall asleep? Story 5. Not talking about your salary with your coworkers. If everyone knew what everyone else was earning, wages would go up across the board, which is exactly why it is taboo. Story 6. Poor driving habits. Blocking the left lane. Not using turn signals. Speeding up to get past only to slow down once in front. Speeding up to block someone from moving over. Blocking someone from merging onto the highway. Using high beams at night when not necessary. Poor driving habits cause people to gradually become rude to each other. We are in our own little bubble while driving. Story 7. Letting children behave like disruptive inmates in public and at school is highly disruptive, ruins everyone else's experience, and can sometimes be dangerous. This behavior does not bode well for the children as they grow into adults. Story 8. Oversharing online. When you're taking pictures of your child in the hospital and posting them online, you should really stop, think about what you're doing, and don't do it. Story 9. I would eliminate the social norm that discourages open conversations about mental health. If we could talk about our struggles without stigma, more people would seek help when they need it, and we would foster a society that is more understanding and supportive. Story 10. Always needing to have new, fashionable clothing that you cannot wear repeatedly. This is slowly starting to change, but people still look askance if you wear the same thing more than once within a short amount of time. Even though plenty of people have washers and could easily wash something overnight and wear it again the next day, fast fashion causes a lot of harm. Story 11. Referring to one's spouse as a ball and chain or otherwise joking about your poor marriage. Your marriage should be strong if it's going to last, and a poor marriage shouldn't be socially joked about as if it's unfixable. Story 12. This is a new social norm of tween girls being taken to Sephora and Ulta to buy face serums that needs to be eliminated. Dermatologists are horrified. No tween girl's skin needs anti-aging products. And these products are not cheap. I used to work at Kohl's, and every night there would be a group of middle schoolers and their moms, and sometimes dads, buying products that cost over $50. Why? Because of TikTok. Story 13. Not abiding by the laws of the road because you're trying to be kind. Wouldn't the kindest thing just be to follow the rules? For example, letting a bunch of people merge in front of you or waving everyone else to go at a stop sign. Estimated time of arrival. Stupid autocorrect. Story 14. Virgin shaming involves making assumptions about a person if they are still a virgin, such as being religious, traumatized, weird, or questioning their sexuality. It might just be circumstantial. Perhaps it hasn't happened yet, they aren't ready, or they haven't met someone they want to be with yet. It doesn't always have to be an exaggerated reason or a questionable trait that makes someone a virgin. Story 15. I'm not sure if this is considered a social norm exactly, but in the United States, I'm tired of tipping people. These companies just need to pay their employees enough money and stop relying on the general public to pay for their livable salary. Story 16. The whole song and dance around bringing something when someone invites you over. If you ask, "What can I bring?" which you should, and they say nothing, that should be the end of it. Story 17. Aside from tipping, I think expecting people to be on board with gender norms is really annoying. Let boys learn home cooking and give girls the opportunity to do yard work. Story 18. If I could eliminate a social norm, I would probably get rid of the expectation that by a certain age we should already have everything figured out, especially when it comes to work, relationships, or life in general. This pressure to follow the right path according to what society dictates may cause a lot of anxiety and frustration. The truth is, everyone has their own pace, their own circumstances, and their own idea of what success is. If we got rid of that norm, I think people could live with more freedom without constantly comparing themselves to others. Story 19:1. It is normal and healthy to be unmarried. 2. It is normal to think of entering into a romantic relationship in your 30s or beyond. 3. Divorce is a situation and not a label. Once divorced, you are as single as someone who is single. 4. Love can be found at any age. Story 20. The norm of interpreting others uncharitably by default, that is, the norm of assuming bad faith, is widespread among everyone. People default to interpreting others in uncharitable ways. Online in particular, it makes many discussions, even ones that should be totally benign, feel like minefields to navigate. If you've ever found yourself preceding a question with something like, "I think I'm just totally uninformed," not trying to imply anything or step on any toes. "I just haven't heard much about this and am trying to learn more," then you've been conditioned as a result of the widespread norm of bad faith interpretation. You're having to bend over backwards to minimize the risk you'll be interpreted that way. Because if you don't, you might be met with anger, hostility, and ostracization. Eliminating it would improve discourse so much. Just to be clear, I'm talking about eliminating it as the default. I do not want a world where we must naively tolerate actual bad faith behavior. I just think that should come after an initial assumption of good faith. Story 21. Boys are being told that they have to be strong and not cry or have feelings at all, which leads to men being uncommunicative in relationships, depressed, and harming themselves in the end. Story 22. Shaking hands. Let's just go to a head nod instead. I'm not a germaphobe in the slightest, but I know people don't wash their hands after using the bathroom. Story 23. Idolizing the ultra-rich as the epitome of hard work and success that they aspire to attain while shaming, fearing, and hating the ultra-poor. The true measure of a nation's wealth is not the size of its king's treasury or the holdings of an affluent few, but rather the wages of the laboring poor. Adam Smith. Story 24. The live-to-work attitude. Working through illness and injury, working 60 hours a week without overtime pay, not a flexible solution. Full-time should be 30 hours a week, and minimum wage should be a living wage with mandatory paid leave, and billionaires can deal with it. Story 25. Viewing monetary success and fame as the most important metrics of success and worth. Greed and hoarding should generally be frowned upon but are not. Story 26. Expecting women to wear bras. Edit. People commenting that big-breasted women would disagree are missing the point. If you want to wear a bra, wear a bra. But we shouldn't be expected to because our nipples are more sexualized than men's. Story 27. Handshaking. I thought we were almost there with COVID-19, but no, people are right back to in your face and shaking your hand. And if you refuse, even politely, you're the A************. Story 28. The high expectations for men, whether it comes to their height or their duty to be the only provider in the family. Times have changed, and women are just as capable of making money as men. Story 29. People could openly say, "I'm only looking to have fun," or "I'm only looking for something serious" when it comes to dating. Yes, you can have fun with someone and it might just not work out, but it would be nice to know which people are going to hit 6 months, and one person thinks, "This is getting serious," and the other person is all, "Well, it's been fun, see you." But currently, if a person says they're specifically not looking for something serious or that they're either considered a flake or they scare someone off. Story 30. If I could eliminate one social norm, it would be the stigma around discussing mental health openly, I think. Mental health struggles are often met with judgment or discomfort, leading people to feel ashamed or isolated. This prevents many from seeking help, sharing their experiences, or being honest about their feelings. Removing this stigma would encourage more open conversations, allowing individuals to get the support they need without fear of judgment. ultimately fostering a more compassionate and understanding society. Story 31. It is time that the word fuck be something that is socially acceptable to say in casual and professional situations. Fuck is a good word with many applications. Keeping it as a curse word puts us in a mental prison. Fuck that. Story 32. When usually American people ask, "How are you?" when they mean hello, it's not a genuine question. You don't want the honest answer. The polite answer is, "Good. How are you?" which is also not genuine. Some people skirt the courtesy and say, "Hanging in there," or "on this side of the dirt," or "can't complain." No one will listen anyway. Just stop. Just say, "Hello." Story 33. Trying to be the last to say goodbye on the phone because you don't want to be rude. You have a good night. Will do, you too. I will, you too. Yeah, thank you, bye. All is good, yeah, bye. Okay, bye. Yeah, bye. Okay, bye. Repeat last two lines infinitely. Story 34. Women needing to remove their body hair in order to be seen as feminine. Why? Because I think it's ridiculous. It's time-consuming, costly, can be painful, and can lead to rashes, ingrown hairs, infection, and scarring. Edited to add, I know there is such a thing as autonomy. I am aware that people have their own preferences and their own motivations. Story 35. Assuming people want and should have children and asking people why they do not have children. It feels rude and personal and is completely accepted in society. Story 36. When greeting people, asking, "How are you?" with no intention of being told anything more than "fine, thanks," is common. We should either stop asking or genuinely intend to talk about how we are.